Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Fabian for Liberty. FabianForLiberty.com is the website. More dead bankers surface, and why are bankers dropping like flies? Why are bankers being killed or committing suicide? I'll get to that in just a second. This Friday, I'll be hosting a free webinar about my real estate deals club. Going to be bringing on 2 or 3. I want to get 4 or 5 of them on, but it'll take hours. So 2 or 3 different people that have been involved in my deals club, what it is, deals that they've already put together that have been profitable deals for them. For you could hear from other people that are already taking the step from literally quitting their jobs and being virtual real estate investors. And actually we'll tie into that in this video regarding the market manipulation and what do you do about it? I mean, what do you do about the fact that bankers are being killed by the banking cartel, just like, the drug cartels or like the mafia kill off people that basically may turn rat. I mean, that's what's happening here. And I've broken it down to 3 different reasons why they're killing bankers. And of course, this weekend, if you haven't heard already, one of the top attorneys for Deutsche Bank, the bank that's been implicated in the LIBOR rigging, was killed. Other top former CEOs and other top people for Deutsche Bank as well as JP Morgan have died as well or have been killed under mysterious circumstances or have committed suicide under very, just real crazy circumstances. Case in point, one guy apparently shot himself multiple times with a nail gun. I mean, talk about a way to go. Probably if I was going to kill myself, which I'm not, let me just say that, because let me just put that out there. I wouldn't shoot myself with a nail gun. Just going to go out on a limb and say that. Also, a big hedge fund guy jumped off a 23rd story building just this weekend as well. So here we see more and more people. And a lot of these people, what they have in common is that they work with a lot of the risk assessment and a lot of just the gauging of risks or derivatives. And what that speaks to regarding the overall economy. Again, I kind of got ahead of myself here. But again, that webinar that I was talking about earlier regarding real estate is this Friday. The link to register will be down below. Also, new episode of the Fabian Calvo show is out today. Now, why are bankers being committed or killed, suicided? Why is it happening? Now, a couple of my contacts on Wall Street, they don't know this for a fact. This is just their opinion, and I think that their analysis has been pretty spot on. That I've shared with you and that I've helped formulate my, like the pump and dump or recently what was going on with oil, which, by the way, I want to just thank Jim Willie for mentioning some of my work in an interview he did a couple days ago. Appreciate that, Jim. Love your commentary. I think you're one of the best people out there when it comes to the global economic reset. I don't know if you call it that or not. People might call it something different, but it's underway. I mean, anybody with above room temperature IQ and just a good idea of history, and then you throw in someone like Jim Willie who's brilliant and then has deep contacts of his own, you're going to come to the same conclusion because it's already happening. I'm going to tell you, today I probably have received easily over 50 emails about the new economic structure that's being set up as we speak by Russia and by China. Friday I did a video about Vladimir Putin talking about how, the day of the dollar is pretty much, it's coming to an end. Now, these guys aren't just saying that. They're actively working on doing that, okay? Now, I've said for some time that there today exists an economic Edward Snowden. And there's been others that have come, Andrew Maguire exposed the silver rigging by JP Morgan. There's been others as well. But I'm talking somebody that comes out with such bombshell evidence that points to the entire banking system as we know it in the West is a complete fraud. Now, that doesn't mean there's not fraud in the Eastern banking system. There's certainly fraud in China with all their shadow accounting and garbage. So don't think like they're all good either, because they're not, okay? But here are the top 3 reasons I believe bankers are being killed and what they're hiding. And number 1 is they're hiding that the old banking system is pretty much over. What do I mean by the old banking system? Well, I mean the old banking credit system. They have so abused it and they have so distorted and taken out any free market component of it that the only way this system now can operate is by this collusion between big government and big business, i.e. the big banks. The big banking cartels have infected our republic, and likely your countries as well from around the world, wherever you're watching, have infected those countries like termites, rotting out the core. And prior to them pulling out of the house just basically collapses because they've rotted it out. That is what these banksters have done. No form of economic stimulus, no form of bank bailouts, no form of bail-ins. Nothing will save this system. It can only continue to keep it propped up a little bit longer. That's why when they roll out QE4, which is coming, I believe very well could come just after the holiday season, or the Christmas season, it's just going to be another kind of like shot of heroin to the addict. He's high for a little bit longer, but at some point he's coming down. And so is the Western banking system. Now let me just say, I wish this wasn't happening. I'm not one of those guys that's like cheerleading the doom and gloom. This isn't even doom and gloom. This is just a reality about what's going on. And you know what? I don't really give a crap if people want to believe this or not, because I believe it. And whether you believe it or not, it really doesn't matter because it's happening. And the evidence is it's just so overwhelming at this point. So number one reason they're killing off bankers that are potential whistleblowers is that they are hiding the fact that the current banking system as we know it is over. It's over. Number two, of course they're hiding the systemic fraud and market manipulation. Now there's manipulation in everything from the orange juice market to the real estate market to the stock market. Because crony capitalists have taken over, and they've been allowed to take over all of these markets by their puppets in government. So, people say, well, you invest in real estate, that's bad, how dare you, you should invest in gold. Well, I invest in both, but the point is that gold and silver are probably the ground zero of manipulation for the banksters. So they're all manipulated, what are you going to do about it, right? But of course, they're killing people that can expose this literally. I mean, they could go to someone like Glenn Greenwald, give him all the documents, give him all the insider stuff, go on record, and it's over. It will bring down their economic system. And that person may be watching this video, may not be, I don't know, but they exist. They're out there. And they're sending a message. The people, the banking cartels, the owners and operators of the banking cartels are sending a clear message. The Queen of England, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, they're kind of freaked out because they know in the age of the internet, this stuff can get out like wildfire, and overnight their Ponzi scheme system can literally come down crashing. Here's probably the third one, I think probably one of the most important ones, is they're hiding the cost to the middle class. A guy by the name of Colin Loki wrote a piece for Seeking Alpha, and he talked about how the Federal Reserve has stolen $9 trillion from the middle class since they've been keeping interest rates at record lows. $9 trillion. The middle class would have otherwise received in interest payments, because I remember growing up, my uncle wasn't wealthy, but he had like 100 grand in the bank because he'd brag about it all the time. And he'd get 10% on his money. So he'd get 10 grand a year, or a little bit over, and he'd use a lot of that to live. He was retired. Because interest rates were like 9–10%. Well, that's not around anymore. And so if you're retired or middle class, you don't make money off your money in the bank. They force you to then go put it in a 401k or in a money market account or whatever, thinking that you're going to get it back. Now, I don't have a 401k. I don't have mutual fund accounts, none of that garbage. Because I think it's just that. It's garbage. And eventually those people will get holding the bag. Now that's what I do. I'm not telling you what to do. You might be thrilled with the fact that over the last year, your IRA account has ballooned because, they're manipulating the market upwards. For me, I want investments I can get in and out of quickly, or gold and silver, because I just know at the end of the day, that's why. Again, why do you think the ultra-rich are buying gold and silver by the ton? Italian job style, to quote the London Telegraph. I mean, this is easy, ladies and gentlemen. Bankers are being killed to hide the truth of how bad this economic fraud really, really is. Why do you think bankers are being killed? I'm Fabian Calvo, Fabian for Liberty. Thanks for watching. I'm out.